Hello students. Students, in this video we are going to discuss a very important topic from statistics, and that topic is control charts. Let's start. What are control charts? Control charts are used to monitor the output of a process and indicate the presence of problems requiring further action. For example, in manufacturing industry, an item is being manufactured. So we have to keep track of the item, whether it is being manufactured according to the quality standards or not. If there is some defect in the item, so we should know that defect in the early stages so that we can rectify the defect, or we can just reject the item and work on according to the quality standards. So in manufacturing processes, control charts are very important, right? So what are the characteristics of control charts? What are the characteristics of control charts? Nominal value or central line. One part of the control chart, which is the most important part, is the nominal value, or which is also the central line, which is based on the average value of several past samples. Obviously, if the item is being manufactured, we are not manufacturing it for the first time. We already have the standard values that the item should be according to these standards. For example, suppose we are manufacturing a component which looks like a cylinder, and there is a hole, a cylindrical shaped hole in the interior of this, and we know that the diameter of this hole is suppose 1.7 mm. Now, if the diameter of this hole is 1.7 mm and we have a limit of suppose 1.65 to 1.75 mm, so any diameter within this limit is acceptable. But if there is some defect in the manufacturing processes, that the machine that is producing these items are making the diameters which are beyond this limit, so either we have to rectify that item, or we have to just simply reject that item. So initially, on the initial stages of the development, we must know that something is going out of control, or something is not going right, so that we can rectify the process or just reject the item. So that's why we need control charts. So how do we know that the diameter should be 1.7 mm? Because we have several samples that we have already manufactured of diameter 1.7 or 1.65 or 1.67 or 1.68, and we know that these ranges are acceptable. So we just take the average value of all these, and that comes out to be 1.7 mm, right? And according to that average value, we make a control line in the control chart, which is in this example is this line, right? Let me use a dark color, which is this line. So this is represented by CL. CL means the control line, right? So there are two other control lines which are called the upper control line and the lower control line. These two control lines are shown here. This one is upper control line. Let me use the other color. These are the upper control lines and the lower control lines. For example, in our example, the upper control line had a value of 1.75 mm and the lower control line had a value of 1.65 mm. Any radius which comes above the any value of the radius of the item which comes above the upper control line or below the lower control line will simply be rejected, and any other value which comes in between these can be rectified. That depends according on the process, right? That can be rectified, that can be improved, or we can simply reject it. So there are three major points in a control chart. One is the control line, other is the pair of these two, upper control line and the lower control line, and third are just the simple data values which are used to draw this control chart. What are the purposes and advantages of control charts? Control chart indicates whether the process is in control or out of control. It determines process variability and detects unusual variations taking place in the process. It will just simply show us that there is something which is not going right in the process. So it ensures the product quality level, right? It warns in time, and if the process is rectified at that time, scrap or percentage rejection can be reduced. It proved information about the selection process and setting of tolerance limits. So we have already discussed all these points. Types of control charts. There are two types of control charts. One is called the variable chart. Variable chart is simply based on the different variable values. For example, in our example, the variable value was just the diameter of the bore, but there are several values based on which a product quality is ensured. So that diameter part was just for the example. There are other important parameters of the same part also, like the diameter, like the density, the length, the material, the strength, the elastic limit, and there are many other factors. So by using all these data values, when the control chart is drawn, that is called the variable chart. Obviously, because all these data values are called variables, and based on those variables, if the chart is drawn, that is called the variable chart. So using that variable chart, we will see the values which are coming out, which are of the objects that are being manufactured, and if those variables are beyond the tolerance limits, we will simply reject the items. So variable charts involve the measurement of the job dimensions. Job dimensions means the diameter, the length that we have discussed, and an item is accepted or rejected if its dimensions are within or beyond the fixed tolerance limits. Variable charts are more detailed and contain more information. Obviously, if we are using that many variables to make the chart, obviously these are very detailed charts and these are very informative charts. But these charts are relatively expensive because of the greater cost of collecting measured data. Because we have to collect so many values, we have to collect a large data, so these charts are relatively expensive as compared to the other types of charts that we are going to discuss shortly, right? So the other types of charts are called attribute charts. An attribute chart is simply for the acceptance or rejection of an item. These are not based on the data values, these are based on the attributes, right? Attribute charts only differentiate between a defective item and non-defective item without going into the measurements of the dimensions. We are not going into the measurements or any other detail. We are just saying that if whether this item is acceptable or not. So we will simply make a chart based on this, and using that chart we can easily differentiate between a defective item and a non-defective item. Attribute charts, being based upon go and no-go data, require comparatively bigger sample size. By sample size means the number of items that we use to check whether this is acceptable or not. For example, I have manufactured that item and the bore radius was 1.71 millimeter. But that was just the first item. So how do I know that I have to reject it or select it? If I have manufactured thousands and thousands of items, then only I know that the items having the bore radius more than 1.75 mm are to be rejected, because they are not going to fit within the machinery for which this item is being manufactured. and the item with bore radius less than 1.65 mm are also to be rejected. So it requires a bigger sample size, but it requires a smaller sample size because we just have to know the values of the variables and only few items are enough to check what are the radius, what are the lengths, what are the acceptable densities, elastic limits, elastic strengths, and all those things, right? So this requires a relatively bigger sample size, but this requires a relatively smaller sample size. What we have drawn is the variable chart because we are using the values. These are based on the dimensions of the item. So these are the control chart. These are used, this topic is a part of statistics, but they are used in manufacturing industries, right? So you can prepare everything using these slides. I'll meet you in the next lecture. Till then, all the very best.